The Amazing Spider-Man. Number 3. July 1963. Spider-Man's newest and most dangerous foe. Doctor Octopus, the strangest foe of all time. The story opens in a dark warehouse as three thieves attempt to steal a safe. One hears a noise but is dismissed until a glowing Spider-Man face appears above them. Panicked, they look up just as Spider-Man drops in. The robbers try to fight back, but he easily handles them, mocking them as he takes them down. Minutes later, police arrive to find the crooks neatly wrapped up, one grumbling about Spider-Man's unexpected interference. Nearby, Spider-Man watches from a rooftop, reflecting on how easy crime fighting has become. He laments the lack of a worthy challenge, thinking he's too powerful for any opponent, and almost wishes for someone who could give him a real fight. As Spider-Man muses about needing a worthy challenge, we cut to the outskirts of town at the U.S. Atomic Research Center. Inside, scientists point out the arrival of Doctor Octopus, the nickname for Otto Octavius, the nation's leading atomic researcher. He wears a specially designed harness equipped with 4 mechanical arms, allowing him to safely manipulate radioactive and volatile materials behind lead-shielded walls. Octavius is proud of his invention, confident in his ability to control radiation and make it serve him. During a complex experiment, he handles hazardous chemicals with ease, declaring himself above the fears of others. But suddenly, a technician notices abnormal readings. Something is wrong. The radiation meter spikes, and a blow-up is imminent. An alarm is sounded. The warning comes too late. A massive explosion engulfs Dr. Octopus as he works. Once the fire and smoke clear, rescue workers find him barely alive, badly irradiated. Hours of tests follow. Doctors find brain damage and discover that the mechanical arms are now fused to his body due to radiation exposure, making removal impossible. Days later, Octavius regains consciousness and demands to return to his work, but hospital staff urge him to rest. His damaged mind grows paranoid and bitter. He believes others are jealous and trying to hinder him. Convinced of his superiority, he becomes enraged. Feeling imprisoned in his hospital room, he resolves that no one can hold Dr. Octopus against his will. Dr. Octopus concentrates, and his mechanical arms respond instantly, moving as though they have minds of their own. With a thought, he smashes through the barred hospital window, stunned by the arm's sheer power. Realizing they now function as extensions of his body, he declares himself the supreme human being. Minutes later, he confronts a hospital staff member, announcing with a manic grin that he is now in command. Meanwhile, at the Daily Bugle, J. Jonah Jameson demands photos of the now infamous Dr. Octopus. Peter Parker volunteers for the job, reassuring Jameson he'll get them. Jameson praises Peter's results, but admits surprise at how a teenager succeeds where others fail. Peter smirks silently, knowing he'll rely on Spider-Man to get the pictures. Spider-Man arrives outside the heavily guarded hospital and questions why it's locked to the public. Leaping over the wall, he decides to investigate as only Spider-Man can. He begins scaling the high exterior, thinking about how easy his usual tasks are and how he wishes for real competition. He doesn't realize his wish is about to be granted. As he nears the top, he suddenly stops, startled by something just ahead. Suddenly, he spots a flailing metallic tentacle from inside the window. Peering through a large window, Spider-Man observes Dr. Octopus holding hospital staff captive. One man pleads for release, saying they've complied with all demands, but Octopus refuses, declaring that no one can resist his power and they'll remain until he's done with them. Octopus then violently lashes out, lifting the man with a mechanical arm to demonstrate his strength. As the captive begs to be let down, Spider-Man decides it's time to intervene. He bursts in, telling the doctor to fight someone who can hit back. Startled, Octopus exclaims, "Spider-Man!" Then Spider-Man jokes about not being Albert Schweitzer and prepares to fight. Octopus, furious at the defiance, vows to make him suffer. Spider-Man dodges the flailing arms of Dr. Octopus, mocking them as too slow to catch him, but one arm snags him midair, and Octopus boasts that he's more powerful than Spider-Man imagined. Spider-Man counters with a web blast, briefly trapping a tentacle, but Octopus reveals he has more than 2 arms and quickly overcomes the restraint. Spider-Man struggles to hold back the others, realizing it takes all his strength. Octopus isn't just clever, he's also super strong. In a shocking moment, Dr. Octopus snaps Spider-Man's webbing, something no foe has done before. He then mistakes him for Superman, something else no foe has done before. Spider-Man is stunned, while Octopus declares he's bored with the fight and that his time is too valuable to waste further. Dr. Octopus traps Spider-Man in his mechanical arms, declaring it a web of his own, born from a nuclear accident. He mocks Spider-Man's strength as inferior, claiming atomic power makes him superior. Spider-Man, completely entangled, realizes he's helpless and outmatched, unable to fight off all the arms at once. Octopus continues taunting, demanding to know where Spider-Man's bold words are now. Finally, he hurls Spider-Man out the window, dismissing him as no threat. Spider-Man crashes through the air, barely conscious. A tree breaks his fall, and he slumps to the ground, defeated and groggy. For the first time, Spider-Man has truly met his match, and it's Doctor Octopus. Spider-Man struggles to his feet, stunned and demoralized. He realizes he never stood a chance. Doctor Octopus could have finished him at any moment. Removing his mask, Peter agonizes over what to do next, questioning whether this is the end of Spider-Man. Meanwhile, at the hospital, Octopus climbs out a window, reflecting that despite defeating Spider-Man, the captives escaped during the fight. He flees before the police can arrive. Using his mechanical arms, he scales fences and walls with ease, boasting that nothing can stop him now. At the Atomic Research Center, he plans to enter through any unlocked window. As he climbs the building, he notes that his presence, disguised among the pipes, will go unnoticed by security, giving him free rein once the guard moves on. Dr. Octopus infiltrates the Atomic Lab's control center, calling it the brain of the entire facility. With it under his command, he declares the nation's greatest source of atomic power will be his. Using his mechanical arms, he easily unlocks the door and bursts in, ordering everyone to leave. As startled workers are tossed out, Octopus proclaims that nothing can stop him. His strength and control of atomic power make him the strongest man alive. He begins a destructive demonstration, wrecking part of the plant so he can rebuild it as he sees fit. Chaos ensues. Lead shielding drops, releasing radiation. Machines spin out of control, seemingly guided by a madman, and pipes begin to overheat and explode. The facility is rapidly becoming too dangerous to remain in. Authorities quickly identify Dr. Octopus as the source of the atomic plant chaos, but can't reach him due to the electronic barriers he's installed. The entire plant is evacuated, and Octopus revels in his victory, declaring himself in full control. Military and security experts struggle to respond, recognizing that this is an unprecedented crisis, a brilliant scientist with superhuman power turned rogue. Access to and from the facility is locked down as they debate how to stop him. Meanwhile, Peter Parker, deeply discouraged, isolates in his room. He considers Spider-Man a failure, unable to stop Dr. Octopus. When Jameson calls about more photos, Peter declines. Aunt May worries for him, but Peter brushes it off as a personal problem and prepares to head to school. At school, Peter's classmates notice he's withdrawn, not responding. Word spreads that the Human Torch has been sent to deal with Dr. Octopus and will speak at their school assembly. Peter reacts coldly but attends. On stage, the Torch performs fiery tricks and jokes about how the Thing helps with homework. He reminds students that even heroes face defeats, stressing that success comes from never giving up. His words strike a chord with Peter, who realizes the message applies directly to him. Inspired, Peter is reminded that the Fantastic Four have also failed but always recover. Afterward, Peter approaches the Torch and thanks him earnestly, saying the speech meant a lot. The Torch casually accepts the praise, unaware of how deeply it's affected Peter. Reinvigorated by the Human Torch's words, Peter Parker rushes home and suits up as Spider-Man, determined to face Dr. Octopus again. He tells himself that if the Fantastic Four can recover from defeats, so can he. Swinging across town, he reflects that this time, Octopus won't have the advantage of surprise. He vaults over fences and bypasses guards by staying high above. 2 sentries below briefly wonder if they saw something but dismiss it. Spider-Man lands safely on the roof and begins his stealthy approach, hoping to get close before being spotted. But inside, Dr. Octopus is already watching through surveillance screens. Recognizing Spider-Man, he sneers that the hero won't be so lucky this time. He plans to end the fight for good. Dr. Octopus, operating from a control room, declares that no one will interfere with or defy his plans. At that moment, Spider-Man's spider sense alerts him to danger. He narrowly dodges a mechanical attack from behind. He confidently evades the threat, noting he's fully prepared this time. As Octopus fires electronic bolts, Spider-Man remains agile, trusting his reflexes and spider sense to stay safe. Realizing Octopus is tracking his every move, Spider-Man deduces he must be under surveillance. He swings away to get out of camera range, using his wall-crawling skill to escape detection. Meanwhile, Octopus notices Spider-Man disappearing from his monitors and admits the hero is cleverer than he anticipated. Dr. Octopus prepares to crush Spider-Man again, convinced his mechanical arms will ensure victory. Meanwhile, Spider-Man stealthily advances through the facility, locating the chemical laboratory. Inside, he begins rapidly mixing compounds, knowing he has little time before he's discovered. He completes a formula and pours it into a test rack. He then turns to scavenging wiring, saying it'll serve his needs. As he rigs up his plan, he stays focused, aware that Octopus won't give him a second chance if he makes a mistake. Spider-Man steps out from the lab holding his improvised devices, unsure if they'll work but determined to try. He sets out to find Doctor Octopus, who is already prepared for a second confrontation. Octopus attacks immediately, but Spider-Man's reflexes let him narrowly dodge a blow. Acting fast, he hurls one device, tangling two of the mechanical arms, then follows with another before being struck. Though hit hard, Spider-Man's superhuman durability lets him recover quickly and escape the danger zone. Octopus mocks the attempt, calling it madness. But then he notices the arms have fused together and realizes it's due to the chemical. Clever, but not enough, he claims. He vows to eliminate Spider-Man before dealing with the inconvenience. Dr. Octopus relentlessly forces Spider-Man back against a wall, his arms moving too swiftly for webbing to land. Octopus uses his fused arms like a club, forcing Spider-Man into a desperate position. Thinking fast, Spider-Man lashes his legs around one of the mechanical limbs and grabs another with both hands. He then shoots a web directly over Octopus's face, blinding him. As Octopus struggles with the web over his glasses, shouting that he can't see, his remaining arms act on their own, grabbing Spider-Man and pulling him in with overwhelming force. Though blinded, Octopus's mechanical limbs continue the fight, threatening to crush Spider-Man despite the hero's clever maneuver. Spider-Man manages to pry apart Dr. Octopus's two free arms, but knows he can't release his grip. Octopus warns that he'll win once Spider-Man lets go, but the hero is counting on a perfectly timed counterattack. In a sudden move, Spider-Man releases his hold and lands a precise punch, knocking Octopus out cold. Reflecting on the blow, he notes how an old-fashioned punch defeated the most dangerous villain he's ever faced. Not taking any chances, Spider-Man wraps Octopus tightly in multiple layers of webbing, confident the villain won't be able to break free this time. Outside the atomic plant, sentries hear the commotion and begin to respond, spotting movement that suggests someone has sneaked out. Spider-Man signals the approaching guards, who spot him and move cautiously toward the building. They follow his lead, unsure of what to expect. Inside, they find Dr. Octopus completely restrained in webbing, angrily demanding to be freed. Spider-Man observes from a distance, confident that the authorities can handle him from here. But he knows his work isn't done. Swinging off, he begins scaling a nearby hotel, following his spider sense to track someone inside. He determines that the person he's after is close. His spider sense confirms the room is just ahead. Inside the hotel room, a doctor informs the Human Torch that his fever is gone and his powers are back to full strength. Eager to prove himself, the Torch flames on, only to be stopped by Spider-Man, who announces that Dr. Octopus has already been captured. Spider-Man thanks the Torch for inspiring him earlier, crediting him with helping turn the tide. As Spider-Man swings away with a quick goodbye, the Torch is left puzzled, wondering what he did to deserve such gratitude. The next day, the Torch gives a dazzling public display of his powers. Peter just smiles. For once, he's not concerned about photos or praise. Watching from the crowd, Flash Thompson praises the Torch, and Spider-Man asking Peter why he's not watching what a real man can be like. Peter responds by telling Flash someday he'll explain why, and when he does, he's going to enjoy it very much.